Karoshi, you do. Yat, whatever. Ashnasi, you eat. Yat, whatever. Juhoshi, you offer. Dadasi, you give away. Yat, whatever. Yat, whatever. Tapasyasi, austerities that you perform. Konteya, O son of Kunti. That is Arjuna, O son of Kunti. Tat, that. Kurushva, do. Mat, unto me. Arpanam, as an offering. So here's the translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities that you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. And here's the purport. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra round his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So once more, here's the translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. And so this is a direct instruction to Arjuna in the 9th chapter, where throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking so many questions about what's his proper duty, what's his proper path. And so Krishna will give direct instructions, and in this case, this is a very important direct instruction of how one can engage in this bhakti yoga process. Bhakti means love and devotion to Lord Krishna. And sometimes we may have a difficult time understanding, or maybe it feels like we require more heart to give to Krishna, isn't it? Sometimes we see wonderful teachers, the acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada, wonderful devotees, senior devotees, who seem to have some type of special love, some relationship with Krishna, right? And we see that and we go, wow, would be something to cultivate something like this. And so nowhere else do we see such a wonderful example of the perfect devotee as when Krishna appears as the perfect devotee himself, when he appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is only 500 years ago. He appears in Mayapur, Navadvip. he appears and he is in the mood of the greatest of all devotees, Srimati Radharani. So he's manifesting this mood of pure loving devotion, selfless. There's no motive there, right? Or some kind of condition. Sometimes our understanding of love maybe have some difficulty because we think, okay, love, give, and then I receive and give. And of course that's there. But in the mood of Radharani, this is very difficult to even speak about because who can understand Radharani's mood? But still, her mood is such that she's not seeking something for herself. She's only seeking that which pleases Krishna. And so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in this mood and displays what it looks like, pure devotion. What does that look like? And so there's so many stories and leela of how one can understand this pure devotion and then how one can engage in this, right? This is the purport of the spiritual master, that they're giving direct example, instructions, right? That one can understand how to engage themselves in this process and thereby purify the heart, purify the mind, and then engage themselves in this loving relationship with Krishna. We call this bhakti yoga. And so the way that one does this is through offering, right? We don't simply take. Before we take anything, right? Whatever we do, whatever we eat, that's this verse. Whatever we offer, give away. Before we do any of that, first we're thinking of Krishna. That's the mood. And so there's a really wonderful story in Chaitanya Leela that I thought we'd just discuss tonight. And Lord Chaitanya, when he was a very small boy, maybe a toddler, very young. Does anyone know his name? His mother gave him, very young, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Nimai. Nimai was his name. And he was very young and a toddler in this story, in this Leela. If you begin to read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which tells all the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you'll find this story. And it has to do with offering. So that's why we're going to discuss this. So in this Leela, there was a Brahmana who came to the home of little Nimai and his parents, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. Those are the parents of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they are also incarnations of Krishna's parents. Who's that? Right? Vasudeva, right?
And Devaki.
And Devaki. But then also in Vrindavan? Nanda Maharaj and
Mother Yashoda.
Mother Yashoda, yeah. So Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi are none other than incarnations of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just a young baby walking around. A Brahmana came to his home. A very chaste Brahmana, very austere. And Jagannath Mishra, his father, being none other than Nanda Maharaj, could recognize goodness and could recognize the wonderful heart of this Brahmana. So the Brahmana is just coming and seeking just alms, maybe a little rice, maybe a little of this. But Jagannath Mishra, seeing how pure this wonderful Brahmana was, he invited him into his home. He says, no, I'm not just going to give you alms. I want you to please come in and I'm going to clean the kitchen and I would like you to perform a wonderful offering in my home. And you cook and everything will be clean and we'll prepare and you perform wonderful offering to Krishna. And you bless our home. Right? This is what happened in prior days, in prior times. This is how the grihastas, the householders, would welcome the brahmanas into the home to purify the atmosphere, to purify the environment, to purify the home and everyone in it, in the family. Okay, so the brahmana says, okay, I'll do this. So they clean everything nicely. He's preparing everything. He prepares and cooks rice, and he's chanting the mantras. And then, as he opens his eyes, he sees there's a young toddler there who's grabbed the rice and is eating. So, this story is told very nicely by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And in that story, Radhanath Swami says, hi, hi. Hi means in this, right? Alas, or oh no, right? Hi, hi. The baby he's eating, he spoiled the offering. This baby, he spoiled the offering. So Jagannath Mishra, his father, comes. What happened? And little Nimai runs away as fast as he can. And all of a sudden he begins to Jagannath Mishra sees what happened and he chases after the boy. But the Brahmana says, no, don't chase. He's just a baby toddler. He doesn't know right. He doesn't know wrong. Don't bother him. Just bring me some fruits. It's okay. I don't have to do an offering. So Jagannath Mishra says, no. This is very embarrassing. He shouldn't have done that. We're going to clean everything, and please, you offer one more time. We're going to clean up again the kitchen, make sure nothing's spoiled, and then you offer. No, please. So he convinces the Brahmana, please, offer again one more time. Okay. So he takes Nimai after he finds him, and Nimai goes to next door with some family next door, some Matajis that are there. Please watch over Nimai, make sure he gets in no trouble. He came and spoiled the offering. Okay. So again, the Brahmana begins to prepare. And meanwhile, Nimai's at the next door neighbors, and the Matajis who are they're chiding him a little bit. They say, oh, Nimai, why did you take the offering? Who do you think you are? You're taking the offering like this. And his response was, he goes, I'm a cowherd boy. So cowherd boys are always happy to take the offerings of the Brahmanas. And they're laughing, he's not a cowherd boy, he's Nimai to them. They don't know, right? Krishna's Yogamaya. He's giving them this impression that he's just an ordinary boy. He's not ordinary. So as they're laughing and playing with Nimai, they lose track of him again. And then as soon as the Brahmana finished the rice and just chanting the final mantras, he opens his eyes, and there's Nimai, eating the rice again. And as he's eating the rice, he's smiling. Such sweet eyes at the Brahmana. He's smiling so sweetly at him. But the Brahmana can't really recognize. Hi! He's done it again. He spoiled the offering. Oh no, it's spoiled now. And this time, Jagannath Mishra, the father, he comes, but what does he grab? A stick. To chase after Nimai. And this really disturbs the Brahmana. He says, no, don't go after with the stick. He's just a child. He doesn't know. It's fine. Just bring me one piece of fruit. It's okay. We don't need to do this, And now Jagannath Mishra is so disturbed and he's chasing after Nimai. But meanwhile, from the other room, Nimai's older brother, Vishvarup, comes out. And Vishvarup is understood to be very, very beautiful. Beautiful complexion. And he's none other than incarnation of Lord Nityananda. He's the older brother of Lord Chaitanya. And he was very saintly. And actually later on he accepts sannyas. Very, very special personality, Vishvarup. But he was just a young man. And he sees what's happening. And he goes, no, you don't understand. The Brahmana is very upset by now. He says, no, you don't understand. If you don't do this offering, then our whole family will be committed a very wonderful offense, a great offense. If you don't finish this offering, you come to our home and then we don't give you proper facility. This is the worst offense. So he takes his feet like that. Please. We're going to clean everything. We'll make sure Nimai's away. Just do the offering. He says, look, it's almost midnight. I've already made the offering twice. I'm not going to do it. And then, of course, he continues and finally, okay, fine, whatever you say. The Brahmana gives up. Okay. So they clean the house again. Now Jagannath Mishra is standing guard at the door in the house, and he asked much, where's Nimai? It's okay, he's asleep now. He's just a baby, so he finally went to sleep. He's asleep, you don't have to worry, we're going to stay here by the door, and then you do the offering last time, no problem. This time. Okay, so the Brahmana. So they clean everything, he begins to make the rice, he begins to offer. This time, Nimai, who's the supreme personality of Godhead, who is none other than Lord Krishna himself, through his internal potency, through his influence, he makes it so the entire house falls asleep. So he's fooling them, pretending he's asleep, but now Jagannath Mitra, Mother Sachi, Vishvarup, all of the Matajis who are there, everyone falls asleep except for the Brahmana who continues to cook. Right? So the Brahmana is cooking and he's offering this one more time, saying the mantras. And he opens his eyes. What does he see? Once again, the third time, Nimai's eating the rice and smiling. Beautiful, glistening eyes, smiling at the Brahmana. Hi! Right? He spoiled it again. But this time, no one can hear him. Everyone's asleep. Everyone's asleep. So Nimai begins to manifest who he truly is. And he tells the Brahmana, he goes, why are you so upset? Every time you've called me to come and accept this offering, I'm coming and accepting. And yet now you're so upset. And so at that very moment, he reveals this very special form, 8-armed form, beautiful form of Lord Vishnu, but not just Lord Vishnu, 8 arms. So 4 arms, he's holding the Vishnu Gada, the mace, right? The chakra, the lotus flower, and the conch shell, yes? 4 arms. But then the other 2 arms, he's holding a butter pot, and he has butter. And then 2 other arms, he's playing the flute, very sweetly like him. Because for this Brahmana, the Ishtadev, the very most beloved vision of his heart was Balagopal, who's eating the butter. Right? This was his most beloved, worshipable Lord. And so, little Nimai, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, reveals this beautiful form of Vishnu, and then holding the butter pot, eating butter, just to please this devotee, this Brahmana, and then also playing the flute like this. And when the Brahmana sees, he immediately faints. He's overtaken with so much love in his heart. He sees and faints. And then he wakes up again, he comes to, and then now he's seeing the beautiful form. And this beautiful form has the beautiful garland that goes all the way down, and there's bees humming all around the garden, and beautiful curling hair, and the Kaustubha gem that's around, that's lighting up all 4 directions, right? And the beautiful peacock feather that's coming up, right? And then another vision begins to take shape, the vision of Vrindavan. He sees the river Yamuna flowing behind. He sees all the peacocks. He sees all the cows, the Sarabi cows that are there in Vrindavan. He sees the Kalpavriksha trees, the wish-fulfilling trees in Vrindavan. He sees all of the gopas, the cowherd boys, playing, wrestling. He sees all the gopis, right? Preparing the Surya Puja. He sees all of Vrindavan. And again, he faints. And this goes on for a minute. You know, he's relishing this beautiful vision, this divine vision that every time he makes an offering, he's already seeing this beautiful vision of Vrindavan, of his beloved Gopal. So finally, when he wakes up the last time, he tells Krishna, Lord Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells this Brahman, he goes, I'm accepting this offering just as I have accepted all of your offerings in so many lifetimes. You don't remember, but I remember that in a previous life, you also came to Nanda Maharaj's house, and you were a Brahmana. And Nanda Maharaj saw that you were such a pure soul that he asked you into his home. And then at that time, I stole the offerings as Lord Krishna. And now here you are back again, and so I'm revealing this beautiful form. And I want you to know that every time you make an offering, I'm accepting. Every time. But please, don't tell anyone that I've revealed this, because I have a very special purpose. This appearance is very special, because in this age of Kali, this is where it's the age of conflict and quarrel, when people need, more than ever, the Dharma, right? The teachings, the instructions, and the Astra, the weapon, to be able to cut through Maya. That's what it says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna Varna Tisa Krishnam Sangapangastra Parshadam. Yagyai Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasaha. That in the age of Kali, intelligent persons will worship that Lord, that incarnation of Lord Krishna, who has this Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam, who has a golden complexion, and who comes with all of his servants, with his associates, right? With all of his eternal associates. And the Astra, Sangopangastra. Sangha Upanga Astra. The Astra, the weapon. So that all living entities can cut through Maya. This Sankirtana, this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So he tells the Brahmana, don't tell anyone, please, why I'm here. So the Brahmana says, yes, of course. He's so overjoyed, his heart is filled. So much prema, so much bhava, so much love to see his beloved that he promises not to say. But as soon as Nimai takes his original form, he goes to bed. Right? He just goes off to bed. But this Brahmana is so excited, he begins to chant, Gopal, Govinda, Gopal. And he takes the rice and he begins to eat, because now he knows who is Nimai. First he was saying the rice was spoiled, that the whole offering was spoiled. But now that he knows that his beloved Gopal, his beloved Krishna, has eaten personally, then he begins to eat and he's rubbing the rice now all over his body. And so he's making such noise, such racket, and he's dancing too. He's dancing and he's rubbing, that the rest of the family wakes up. And they come in, they think, oh no, Nimai's destroyed and spoiled but they see the Brahmana, he's dancing, chanting Gopal, and rubbing rice all over him. What happened? And so normally this Brahmana is very reserved. Now he's dancing and rubbing rice, what's going on? So then the Brahmana sees them and he becomes very serious. And he tells them, the offering is now complete. Like that. And so they distribute the offering. And then he kindly goes on his way, this Brahmana. But he stays in Navadvip. And without telling anyone, every day he comes back to the home. And from a distance, he's taking darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's coming to save everyone in this age with this chanting of the holy names. So this story, this Leela, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami says, by the way, that anybody who hears this Leela with faith, if they hear this Leela, then one day they will also have the vision of Sri Krishna like this. It's very amazing. Who can understand the strength of these Leelas? How potent just to hear. Right? So this is an instructive Leela for us, is that when we make an offering to Krishna, that we shouldn't do it as just some ritual, right? We should do it as the most sublime, loving, heartfelt offering to our dear most beloved Supreme Lord within our heart. Sometimes we can, it's difficult for us that we have busy lives, right? That we have so much things going on that sometimes it seems like maybe, we're just going through some motions. But this story is very instructive because it lets us know that no matter what, if we make even the smallest offering to Lord Krishna, that he's there, he's receiving. The verse right before this one is the famous verse, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Right? It says that whoever offers me a leaf, fruit, flower, water, with love and devotion, right? I accept it. Ashmanida, ashnasi prayatatmanaha, right? That atma, that they become blessed by offering just this first thing. So this is yajna. This is precisely how we get ourselves out of this material consciousness, by making an offering to Krishna. It says this in the 3rd chapter. It says that work as a sacrifice to Vishnu, it has to be performed. Otherwise, lokayam karma bandhana. It causes bondage. It causes bondage in this material world. So this is the way, this is the method that we can approach Lord Krishna. Everything we make at home, even if we cut an apple, right? You can make that offering to Lord Krishna and make it sweet. Make a sweet offering. In your mind, as you're offering, maybe you have an altar at home. Imagine yourself putting that plate right at Krishna's lotus feet, like this. Or maybe handing Krishna and feeding Krishna like that. You can do this. You can take this offering as far as your heart will go, the sweetness of it. And you can ask Krishna, please, I want to engage and make this offering very, very pure. I want to make it authentic. My authentic heart coming, so I can engage in this reciprocation. This is not just sentiment, right? This is actually the Mahatattva. This is the real reality, the highest reality. Because otherwise in the material world, we're just taking, right? We plant some seed, we get, and then we take, and then we enjoy or suffer the fruits. But this is not that cycle of offering, this bhakti yoga. It's completely different from that. It's where we take everything that we do, everything that we make, everything that we receive, and then we offer it to Krishna first. And it completely purifies. Just like when we offer that patram pushpam phalam toyam, when we offer that, then that food becomes purified. Similarly, when we offer our our consciousness and our time and our attention to these holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then the consciousness becomes purified. Right? The fruits become purified. If we want our consciousness to become purified, then we chant these holy names. This is the prescription that Lord Chaitanya is giving us, and he's chanting every town and village. He's sending his empowered devotees and his servants, Srila Prabhupada, to every town and village to come and spread this message of this Sankirtan movement, that one can become very happy by chanting these holy names and can perfect their lives. So this Leela is very sweet, and throughout the week, if you're able, you can read about more Leelas from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just go on to Krishna.com. If you've ever been to Krishna.com, it's very wonderful. And there you'll find Leelas. You'll read about Leelas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Or if you have a book, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya is a very wonderful book. Read that book. Or you can read the prayers. This prayer that we chant every time we do the Gaur Arti. It's the Gaur Arti, which means the Arti of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This prayer is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. If you read his prayers, just go online. Prayers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You'll see so many prayers to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this will give you an understanding of the heart of the Vaishnava. And throughout your days and weeks, you can make these offerings to Lord Krishna. And remember that Krishna is always accepting. There's never a time when he's not accepting if we just have this sincere heart. Okay? So the verse one more time. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji.
So you believe you can chant 24 hours?
Okay, so what does Srila Prabhupada say? Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process. What does he mean, the meditational process? He means that meditation where you go away and you don't perform any type of austerities, and you go to the caves in the Himalayas and you renounce the world and try to become one with the divine like this. This is what most people are considering meditation these days. And this is not the prescription of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's saying that actually you don't have to go to the caves in the Himalayas. He says you stay right in the city and you chant very loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Which is not practical in this age, this other chant, this other meditation. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Maha Mantra on their beads, or in the car while they're driving to work, or at home while you're cooking, at home while you're cleaning, vacuuming. Today we were vacuuming and doing dishes, and we had some kirtan on in the house. Okay, why not? Go, kirtan. Chant and dance while you do the dishes. Cleaning the home for Krishna. Because who's within the home? Krishna. Who's within the heart? Krishna. Would you invite Krishna to dirty heart?
No.
Dirty home? No. So how do you clean the heart? You chant these holy names. If one chants these holy names 24 hours, then surely he is considered the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter. What's that verse? Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantar atmanaha. Right? This verse says that, and of all the yogis, Krishna says, the one who with great faith, Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, same yukta tamomata, that the one with great faith who abides in me and serves me, that is the greatest yogi of all. And the one who is the topmost, in my opinion. That's Krishna's word. Last verse of the 6th chapter, he says this. Very sweet. So you don't have to guess who's the greatest yogi. Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham. All of the yogis, sarvesham, all of them. Madgatenantar atmanaha. The one who serves me, that's the highest and the topmost. So, that's how we engage 24 hours a day. We have to become a little creative. That's okay. We chant everywhere we go. Any other questions? Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.